2025 was a fantastic year for Informa. It was a year of compounding growth. It was a year of compounding performance. It was a year of compounding development, both inside the company and externally. We delivered record revenues, we delivered record profits, we delivered record cash flows, and we continued to deliver really high levels of returns to our shareholders. Today we're going to spend some time with some colleagues and teams talking about some of those stories that really built and compounded to drive the value for Informa in 2025. CPHI is one of Informa's biggest live event brands and brand franchises, actually, because there are more than 10 CPHIs around the world in different locations. In total, the franchise generates north of $200 million. The mothership brand annually is probably half of that. The truth is, when you have an established brand like that people must attend in the industry every year, as an organizer, there's just way more you can do with them. And CPHI is a breeding ground really for innovation, for new services, and new opportunities and value that we can give to our customers. So Anne, maybe just give us a flavour of what is it about a big brand like CPHI that we, what more can we add to it? I mean, it seems it's already so powerful, so what more can we bring?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. CPHI, specifically CPHI in Europe, is already a large-scale event. I mean, just in Frankfurt last year, we've seen over 59,000 people attend the event. The portfolio in total now has 11 events, and we are continuously looking at how we can expand strategically, both geographically through new launches, but also in terms of the products and services that we offer to our audience.
The mothership brand, CPHI Worldwide, which, as I said, was probably half the revenues of the whole sort of franchise, and I know people are so committed to it. By the time we've finished this year's show, we'll have booked pretty much all the space, at least, for the next year's show, if only all our brands were like that. Tell us a little bit about maybe some of the new things, new features, new ideas coming into CPHI Worldwide.
So CPHI Milan this year actually is going to see a number of new zones, really showcasing emerging technologies, areas of growth for the pharma industry, but also technologies like AI or advanced safety technologies where the industry is really investing heavily right now. At the same time, we'll also be complementing those zones with additional content features, really making sure that people who come to our show not just have a place to do business, but also to learn and to network. We'll be shining an additional spotlight on sustainability, another area which is becoming increasingly important for the industry. Yeah. And then we're also looking at how can we improve the general experience at the event, right? Be it through digital services like an improved event app or offering lead insights to our exhibitors to really make the most of their attendance.
If you look a bit further forward for the franchise just generally, what's in store? What's ahead a bit further out beyond this year?
Well, after 25 years in Europe, we're launching PharmaPack Asia in Singapore in November this year. PharmaPack is our second brand of the portfolio, really focusing on pharmaceutical packaging and drug delivery verticals. We're also going to see CPHI and PMEC India expanding into 2 venues for the first time, really showcasing the growth of the industry in India.
Now, if there's one theme, one set of questions that every single investor meeting gets asked, it's AI. No surprise there, it's influencing all our lives, but investors obviously are looking forward, really asking questions about how positive it is for the company, how are you using it, will it drive efficiency, will it change your products, how are your customer markets going to be impacted. We're here today with Jeremy Davis, who really is Mr. AI at Informa, and we're going to delve into this a little bit more. So maybe to start with, Jeremy, just talk a little bit about how we view AI at Informa generally.
Of course, AI is a fantastic opportunity. I'm definitely not Mr. AI because it's a general technology and therefore its application across the business is everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be totally omnipresent, which is, both slightly daunting, but also extremely exciting for the business. And We have a framework whereby we think about that, which very simply is 4Ps. So we think about the people and the colleague side of it. We think about the product side of it and what it can do to enhance user experience and access to proprietary data. We think about the process side of it, so how we can embed it in workflows. And then there's two slightly more back office things that we're concerned with, one of which is the platform on which all this sits, how to make sure it's secure, it's resilient, it's scalable. And then of course there's policy. So the governance and the ethics by which we govern what we do and what activities we do.
Yeah, the boring bit, but the important bit. Actually.
Exactly.
Exactly right. Well, let's delve a bit deeper. Elysia is probably the term, the name, the platform that most colleagues in the company are aware of, and also externally we've talked about it quite a lot. So do you want to talk a little bit about what Elysia is and how we're using it and where it's going?
So Elysia is our proprietary colleague assistant. It's accessible to every single colleague in every single country in the world. And it's there to help them do what they do every day and make them hopefully do it more effectively. We're getting really good usage on it. It can talk to people in about 10 different languages. It does all of the things that you would expect an LLM to do. So it can do deep research, it can do image generation, it can do document summarization. We've made it available to people through multiple channels, so it's on their browser, it's on their phone, you can find it in Outlook. And yeah, we're really just encouraging people to use it to work out how it can make what they do every day more effective.
So just let's delve even further. Just maybe give us a few sort of practical examples of, where we're using AI to sort of improve or transform or enhance some of our products and services.
So yeah, a colleague answer on that would be through App Builder, which has been fantastically successful actually. We've had over 100,000 interactions with that since we launched it just under 6 months ago. And what that does, it democratizes innovation. So without having to do a piece of development, it enables every single colleague in the business to build their own app, upload their own data, and train that to do exactly what they want to do relevant to their job every day. So that's a good colleague example. On the product side of things, maybe something like Technomic or Lions Intelligence, which have huge databases of proprietary information, research, analysis. And we've put AI across the top of that so that customers can interrogate that database really quickly. Done it with the annual report as well.
We have. Yeah. Award-winning annual report.
Award-winning annual report.
And then maybe, look, I think what everyone struggles with AI is just the pace of change and movement. They say there's only a couple of hundred people in Silicon Valley who really understand what's going on, where it's going. How do you think about that? Where in a few years do you think AI might be for Informa?
Look, I mean, I wish I knew. I don't think anyone does. I'm not even sure those 20 people in Silicon Valley really know. I think the really important thing for Informa is that we stay flexible, we stay agile, we stay aware of the potential use cases and where we can deploy AI, and we are capable of spinning up proof of concept, testing them and understanding their either commercial or productivity value at great pace. And that's what we're doing.
Fantastic. Well, there you heard it. I mean, AI is embedded in the business. We're enhancing products. We're creating this time dividend that we sort of talk about. Our colleagues are using it day to day, but there's way more to come. Informa is, by some distance, the largest B2B live events company in the world. The question is, how do we keep growing from here? How do we keep doing more? And really at the crux of it is moving from being a space company predominantly to a multi-service company. And probably the poster child for that in the group, and something we talk to investors a lot about, is our data product that we launched relatively recently, Lead Insights. Andy, to start with, let's imagine I'm a customer at one of our shows, Food Ingredients, Natural Products Expo, perhaps. What should I think about Lead Insights? What does it do for me? What's the sort of problem it's solving, if you like?
Yeah, so if I'm an exhibitor coming to one of those big shows, we've got maybe 50,000 potential buyers there. There's only so many I can physically speak to at my stand or walking around networking. So what Lead Insights does is actually tells the full story of that event. So who they speak to, whose badges they can scan on their booth, that is one part. There's also the app around the event that has all the meetings, the interactions, the digital content. And so really what Lead Insights enables them to do is to bring all of those different interactions, those different engagements, whether they're in person or digitally, and into one place for that customer. And for you as a customer, you can then get that holistic view of the event, of how it's performed, see the ROI, maximize the ROI, but also crucially, we then use Informa's really rich first-party data to overlay that on top of all those leads. And so as a customer, you know much more about who they are. And so therefore that helps you with following up, converting them into customers of them.
And scenario, if we take it a sort of more practical level, you're very embedded in our financial services live brands and products. So can you talk a little bit about Lead Insights in that context and how you're using it there?
Sure. So at SuperReturn, we convene one of the most senior audiences in the private capital industry, and they really come for two main reasons. It's to raise and deploy capital and to access market-leading intelligence. But what we're increasingly hearing from our customers as the market is becoming more and more competitive, that access alone just isn't enough,
Right.
and they need more tools to use their time more precisely.
Right.
Now, previously, getting that level of precision was quite manual and quite time consuming. It involved spending a lot of time going through audience lists, referencing with multiple different data points, and trying to really piece together who are the right peoples, who are the right buyers, and who are the right sellers to connect with. And that's where Lead Insights, which we've transformed into Investor Insights for SuperReturn, comes into play. It really builds on our core, which is the quality of our audience, and it overlays a really important layer of market intelligence on top of that. So our customers can move beyond just seeing who comes to the event, but they can really start seeing the profiles of the people that are coming to the event. So if I'm a GP and I have a specific mandate for a specific strategy or a geolocation, I can then use Lead Insights to just filter and see who are the right LPs that I need to meet with. So as you can imagine, this kind of removes a lot of the friction of coming to our events, and it just automates that process. So what was taking hours or even days before is now taking minutes. And it's allowing our customers to really focus on getting the right meetings in place and tailoring their approach and moving from broad networking to really highly targeted networking opportunities.
Yeah, and I know you signed a partnership, probably the best way to describe it, with Preqin, company Preqin. So tell us a little bit, what's that? Why that? What's that? What does that do? What does that enhance for customers?
The partnership with Preqin is really a natural extension of that strategy. We recognise that our first party data that Andy mentioned is a real strength of ours, but there was an opportunity to overlay it with best-in-class market data and really give our customers materially more value for coming to our events, not just on site but pre-site as well. So it's all those weeks leading up to the event. And Preqin delivers a real depth of market knowledge and data in the private capital industry. But importantly, I would say that this isn't just about enriching one product. We're kind of seeing the opportunity about how do we broaden that across our portfolio, and we see a clear opportunity of how to do that across our portfolio, not just in private capital, but across wealth and some of the other.
Right, with different partners and so on who can just enrich and add and give the customer an even deeper sort of understanding of who's there and who might potentially be a buyer or partner. Yeah, interesting. Fantastic, exciting, lots to come. So really, hopefully that gave a flavour of how we're building off our brands, our big brands, and the audiences they bring, the connections they bring, the live experience they bring, but layering our first-party data into that and building technology around it to just add more value for customers, add more services that we can monetize, and all of that together is really driving, a better experience and more return for our customers, and also the opportunity just to generate more revenue, more growth for Informa.